R. Rhizome. Not only strata, assemblages are complexes of lines. We can identify a first state of the line or a first kind of line. The line is subordinated to the point. The diagonal is subordinated to the horizontal and vertical. The line forms a contour, whether figurative or not. The space it constitutes is one of striation. The countable multiplicity it constitutes remains subordinated to the one, in an always superior or supplementary dimension. Lines of this type are molar, and form a segmentary, circular, binary, arborescent system. The second kind is very different, molecular and of the rhizome type. The diagonal frees itself, breaks, or twists. The line no longer forms a contour and instead passes between things, between points. It belongs to a smooth space. It draws a plane that has no more dimensions than that which crosses it. Therefore the multiplicity it constitutes is no longer subordinated to the one, but takes on a consistency of its own. There are multiplicities of masses or packs, not of classes. Anomalous and nomadic multiplicities, not normal or legal ones. Multiplicities of becoming or transformational multiplicities, not countable elements and ordered relations. Fuzzy, not exact aggregates, etc. At the level of pathos, these multiplicities are expressed by psychosis and especially schizophrenia. At the level of pragmatics, they are utilized by sorcery. At the level of theory, the status of multiplicities is correlative to that of spaces, and vice versa. Smooth spaces of the type desert, steppe, or sea are not without people. They are not depopulated, but rather are populated by multiplicities of this second kind. Mathematics and music have gone quite far in the elaboration of this theory of multiplicities. It is not enough, however, to replace the opposition between the one and the multiple with a distinction between types of multiplicities, for the distinction between the two types does not preclude their immanence to each other, each issuing from the other after its fashion. It is not so much that some multiplicities are arborescent and others not, but that there is an arborification of multiplicities. That is what happens when the black holes scattered along a rhizome begin to resonate together, or when the stems form segments that striate space in all directions, rendering it comparable, divisible, homogeneous, as we saw in particular in the case of the face. That is also what happens when mass movements or molecular flows conjugate at points of accumulation or stoppage that segment and rectify them. But conversely, and without symmetry, the stems of the rhizome are always taking leave of the trees. The masses and flows are constantly escaping, inventing connections that jump from tree to tree and uproot them. A whole smoothing of space which in turn reacts back upon striated space. Even, and especially, territories are perturbed by these deep movements. Or language, the trees of language are shaken by buddings and rhizomes, so that rhizome lines oscillate between tree lines that segment and even stratify them, and lines of flight or rupture that carry them away. We are therefore made of three lines, but each kind of line has its dangers. Not only the segmented lines that cleave us and impose upon us the striations of a homogeneous space, but also the molecular lines already ferrying their micro-black holes, and finally the lines of flight themselves, which always risk abandoning their creative potentialities and turning into a line of death, being turned into a line of destruction, pure and simple. Fascism.